Here we go. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel and another episode of This Week. This week we talk about a little bit of mixture of things, a little Mortal Kombat themed re-releases from Arcade 1-Up, and a very, very disturbing development. Something so obvious that when you see it, you're going to slap your forehead. It's going to be ridiculous. What's going on? I hope everybody's doing well tonight. I hope everybody had a great week. I had a busy week. I traveled for work, so Monday, I left the Cincinnati area. I was in Florida and then came back Friday. And then now I got to go back to Florida. So, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. They don't do the mask thing there. So it's kind of nice. It's actually kind of weird to just walk around and not have a mask. It's kind of odd. So, but yeah, so that's interesting. So first thing I want to talk about tonight, real quick, as I just want to touch on Mortal Kombat. I feel like that's kind of been a theme with the cabinets and Arcade 1-Up, and especially with the superb superb in quotations, the movie. This is no spoilers. Don't worry about that. I'm just going to give you my overall impressions of the film. I'm going to have to take a drink for this one. I will say this. There was no, messaging. It wasn't preachy. There was none of that. It was just a Mortal Kombat movie. So that's great. That was very good. But as far as that goes, beyond that, it wasn't very good. The movie wasn't very good. So it starts out good. All your favorites are there for the most part. I don't want to spoil anything as far as characters that are in the movie and not in the movie. But there's one thing that seems to be a problem with the Mortal Kombat movie, which is a movie about a game, about a tournament. In the movie, there's no tournament. There's no tournament. I don't know why they never got to the tournament. That was like the whole point of the movie. That's the whole point of the game. That's the whole point of everything, the whole lore. They never really got to the tournament. There was fighting. There was matchups, Raiden was zipping them to different locations, but there was no tournament. Why was there no tournament? I don't understand that. So, and I guess that may be considered a spoiler. Well, let me tell you what. Let me just go ahead and this is probably too late. I'll throw the spoiler up anyway, just in case some people may consider that to be a spoiler. But yeah, there was no tournament, like legit tournament. I thought that was weird. So the special effects are good. I mean, for what it is, right? This isn't Avengers Endgame, but this is, the special effects were good. They were on par. This wasn't like the 90s CGI where it's really rough and janky. No, it was good. So that was good. The dialogue was rough, freaking rough. The acting was not bad. I will say this: Kano was probably my favorite character of the whole freaking movie. There was actually moments with him that I was laughing out loud. Me and my wife. He would say something and we just both busted out. So that was kind of cool. So there were some redeeming qualities there. I think it's for the most part, it's going to be enjoyable. But man, it wasn't a flawless victory. Just say that. It wasn't a flawless victory. But if you got HBO Max, definitely check it out. If you got to go to a theater to see this, if theaters are open in your area, hit the matinee. And don't pay full price for this one. Get the big box or big tub of popcorn, the large Coke. Enjoy yourself, but don't pay full price to see the movie. I'm afraid you might be a little disappointed. But in any event, let's say hi to the chat. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? I am sorry that I started an hour later, but I saw that someone else was streaming, and I thought it might be better to give you another option later on in the evening. So we'll try 9 o'clock tonight and see how that goes. M. Tucker, hello all. Hello to you. How you doing? What's up, my brother? C. Mart. What's up with you, man? How you doing? Great to see you. Hey, Robo Grunt. How are you, man? Good to see you. 8-Bit Vinyl. What's up, brother? I saw you on a live stream today that had some horrible ramifications for me. I'll talk about that later. It was a revelation on your stream that killed me. It hurt my heart. It did. It hurt my heart. I was waiting for the tournament the whole movie. Yeah, you're like, when's the you're not going to have it. Okay, well, that's fine. Let's not do the tournament then. It's like a Rocky movie without. Well, it's not like a Rocky movie without the fight because there was fighting in it. There was just no tournament to crown a victor. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. I give props to the fight. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. The CGI was good. So when someone was, I don't know, let's say gutted and their entrails fell out, you saw the detail and you loved it. So the gore was good. It could have been gorier, but I guess if you went more gruesome, maybe that would have been too much. But no, I mean, I think that the CGI was good. Yeah, Kano stole the show. He did. He stole the whole show, man. Oh, the jet jumped. I apologize. Hey, Mike, what's up, man? We're doing good. We're just chilling. The movie was great. Listen, I'm glad, David. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's art is subjective, and if you liked it, I'm glad you did, man. I only just watched Kong today. Was okay. Watching MK later. Kong Skull Island or the new one that just came out, Godzilla versus Kong, because that was big and dumb and stupid, and I loved every second of it. I mean, that movie is what it is, right? You could kind of say the same thing about the Mortal Kombat movie. It is what it is, right? In that one, it was giant monsters punching each other. That's what you want. That's what you want. And in the Mortal Kombat movie, it's kind of the same thing. Mystical, crazy. I don't know what's going on here. Mike, HM. Not sure what you're trying to say there. Maybe you're going to spell out something. I'm intrigued, Brad. I got to watch it. Thanks for stopping by, man. And I doubt things. I don't think they said. Did they say finish? I think Shang Tsung said finished them. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth going back to watch it, but I think it. Bobby Broadway, what's up, man? Yeah, I don't know that they said that. There was some pretty cool fatalities, though. I don't think they ever said. Yeah, somebody else said that. Yeah, y'all got me thinking now. Truth Bombs on Console Kids channel. LOL. Good movie. No. I never even wanted it to be Enter the Dragon. I'm not trying to be unfair. I mean, it's just I'm trying standards. Sort of maintained at a reasonable level, right? I'm not going to try to say it had to be all that. It was a setup for the next Mortal Kombat movie. I would hope that there's another one. I would hope. I think that they could up the quality a little bit. I think the dialogue could be a little bit better. I think the story could have been a little more intriguing. I saw where they were kind of taking their own, doing their own thing, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, Kong. I watched it today. Was afraid it was leaving HBO Max. Didn't want to miss it. Yeah, I'm curious to see how long these new movies stay on HBO Max myself. I clapped when he said, "Get over." Yes, get over the Scorpion effects when he. Well, spoiler alert is up. So when Scorpion comes back from it was the whole time I'm thinking the main guy, the main character was going to be Scorpion, but then it turns out it's not. Scorpion is actually Hanzo from way back in the day when he shows up and he's throwing the spear with the chain that comes. I don't know if it doesn't come out of his hand, he just throws it. That effect was awesome. Him and Sub-Zero fighting, that was dope, man. It was really good. We need maybe that's the sequel, right, Michael? Maybe that's the sequel. It's the tournament. Maybe this was quite literally like the prequel to the tournament. Maybe. I don't know. Seemed like we kind of lost some good characters, though, that I would like to see in the tournament. 7 out of 10 for me. Didn't like how they killed off certain characters, but it's Mortal Kombat. Is anybody ever dead? Not really. I didn't like how they had to find their special move, their special power, their inner special power. It's like superheroes going through puberty. And then they get their super strength or whatever their power is. It's like they had to have an emotional moment or something before they could like get their powers. And I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but it's like, okay, so here's Raiden talking about how, oh man, this is we've been preparing for centuries, but it's like you get these heroes of Earth that have the mark or whatever. And okay, now we're going to train, and we just got a couple days before the tournament. Well, if you've been prepared, if you've known about this for centuries, and you knew how to go get them, or you know how to contact them, or you knew how to see who they were, right? Why did you wait till 2 days before the tournament? the tournament that we didn't have. I'm going to keep going back to that. That was a little weird. I don't know why that there wasn't more of that, more preparation, or at least a better reason why they only had a few days. That would have made a little more sense. Bruce Lee made the ultimate martial arts movie. Obviously. Yeah, obviously. Like I said, I'm not trying to be unfair. It's Mortal Kombat. It just has to beat the other two movies that came out, which is pretty easy to do. But the first one has a special place in my heart. But Kyle, was it better than you expected? Yeah. Kyle, what do you think? Was it better than you expected? Was it better than you expected? So, on the same, let's just curtail this into the next topic. This, I don't know if it took anybody else by storm, but I was kind of blown away by this. So let's take the spoiler alert off. So I won't spoil anything else except I might hurt somebody's feelings if I talk about this. Let me show you something here, and we will discuss. So if you go to my YouTube channel and you look at some of my community posts, I'm posting, I guess it was 6 days ago. Yep, 6 days ago when I said that they were making the Superb combo available, which is basically that second generation Mortal Kombat cabinet with a stool. And that's what they were calling it. So I guess it was a day. So a day later, I posted this, and 165 of you voted. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. The engagement's really cool. I'm glad I can get a bunch of y'all jazzed about this, or at least contemplating this. So I thought they were going to do $4.99. I really thought that. So that's why I put this poll out there. I said, hey, got to know, what do you think? In the re-release of Mortal Kombat Cab with the stool, $4.99. Will you buy it? 95% of you, once again, 165 votes, 95% of you said no at $4.99, which I thought was, I thought that was really going to be the target. I thought for sure. Limited quantity. This is what they do. They kind of drum up this stuff. Who knows if it's really, I'm sure it's just old stock they had kicking around. But anyway, so no one was going to pay that. No one was going to pay $4.99. And then we get to the actual, I could not believe this, $5.49. So I was actually driving on Friday, right? I'm driving, I'm headed home, and I'm like, I gotta keep my eye on this. So, so don't do what I did, kids. But so the clock struck noon, and my carriage turned back into a pumpkin, and a $5.49. I really couldn't believe this. 5.4. I thought that's crazy. There's no way. So I posted this, on Friday. Said now it looks like RK1-Up is smoking something, and literally an hour later, I think. I think it was less. I know it actually sold out in minutes, but yeah, it sold out. And I said, proof that people will buy anything at all. So I thought that, wow, how many did they have is the main thing. So I think somebody commented, well, they sold all 5 that they had. I thought that was funny. Because who knows? I mean, did they have 10 of these? And there was 10 people out there that paid $5.50 for it. But I think all of these combos were actually bought up by the retailer RC Wiley, because shortly thereafter they listed this very stool as coming soon. Coming soon on their website. And I posted, looks like, we know who bought up all these superb combos. This is probably not the actual stool that's coming soon. I would imagine this is going to be the legacy stool that they had that you can see on GameStop now. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess if people will pay that, sure. But this is just wrong. I mean, you're gonna charge people $549 for what's basically an old cabinet with 3 games on it. I mean, come on. This is how can the company do this, with a straight face, especially if this is pretty much just a marketing tie-in with the movie that came out the same day. I mean, come on, damn guys. That was obscene. I think is what that was. Completely nuts. Completely nuts. But yeah, hey, there's my buddy. What's up, Snowdub Hale? Add me on Instagram. Okay, I will. I thought I did. But thanks for stopping by, man. Thanks for stopping by. I will definitely add you on Instagram for sure. And if those of you out here don't follow me on Instagram, you're missing out, because I'm actually posting pictures, behind the scenes stuff of my projects. You get a little extra, little sneak peek at what I'm doing behind the scenes, stuff that you're not going to see in videos, and you're going to see it before the videos come out. So just a shameless plug for my Instagram account. Yeah, Raiden is supposed to be the Highlander. Yes. That was he was perfectly cast for that movie. I think that movie just worked. That first movie in '95 just worked well. I mean, it is what it is. It was what it was. It it was a PG-13. I think back then everybody wanted an R-rated Mortal Kombat, but you weren't going to get that because they were kind of market this for kids. So for a PG-13, and I think that Goro. I never know how to say his name. The four-armed bad guy. I think he looks good in that movie. The 1995 version. If you go back and look at it, he wasn't all CGI, so he was obviously limited on movement, but he looked good. Yeah, I think that effect holds up. So, Brad, I wouldn't say it exceeded my expectations. My biggest issue was the pacing of the film. Yeah, the pacing was a little weird. Lot of exposition, a lot of dialogue that didn't really add up a lot. Yeah, please, thank you so much, Snowdub. Smash that like button. I do appreciate it. Helps out the channel a lot. The ultimate Mortal Kombat would be Dreamcast Kyle versus Console Kiss in a guitar battle for oh geez. You heard it here first on my channel, the Ultimate Smackdown. Will it happen? I hope so. It needs to happen. Ridiculous how much the Ultimate kit went for. I don't know what you're talking about. Noticed he ignored it. I was just joking around. Must be talking about something happened on another stream. Superb combo, more like superbly overpriced combo. Yep, pretty much, exactly. A ridiculous cost for that Mortal Kombat bundle they offered. I don't understand what they were thinking. Obviously, people bought it up. Maybe they knew they didn't have that many, so they thought, well, listen, no matter what price tag we put on this, somebody's going to buy it. Misunderstanding, thinking that maybe this is going to be something like some limited edition. Limited quantity and limited edition are two very, very different things. And I think you're really misleading people by well, I don't know. They're not really misleading people because they did say limited quantity, not limited edition. But how people are, they freak out. And some people just buy anything, obviously. But yeah, maybe they only had 5. I expected Mortal Kombat to suck. It was better than I thought it would be. So a fatality for me. That's good, Brad. I think, it's my expectations, I think, were pretty in line with what the movie was, I think, or what the movie could have been. So I was kind of disappointed, but not really. I'm glad there was no weird messaging in it or anything like that. It was just a movie, and that's what I think we need more of. Just movies. Just give us cool content. Try your best, and then hopefully there's a sequel and you can try better. You can do better. There we go. There you go, Brad. Listen, Kyle. Brad's willing to pay $10 to see that. $10 indeed. Gauntlet Throwdown. Thank you for running your arcades, Fox. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, you're talking. Okay, I just want to make sure. So thanks for running your arcades, Fox. That is what real YouTubers should do. I hate streams with dead arcades. Well, how else do you know that I really have these? If they were just there and they were off, are they even real? If a tree falls in a forest, blah, 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 does it make a noise? Yeah, come on, man. You got to have them on, right? You got to have them on. And I don't know if you noticed the thumbnail. I picked up a 4th. I picked up X-Men versus Street Fighter for $349. I couldn't beat it. And I suggest any of you that want to mod one, you're thinking about it, it's the best deal out there. You get the lit marquee. You get the lit marquee. You get the dual speakers. You get the custom riser that goes with it. If you want to mod this thing, this is a good one to do, a really good one to do. And if you don't want to mod it, I mean, the artwork is awesome. It's really good. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the side art. You get a great crotch shot of Rogue and Cammy, just right there. Right there for the world to see. And then you got Cyclops and Ryu just screaming because I don't know why. I think they're just having a good time. So, but no, it's a good cabinet if you want to pick. If you're looking for something to pick up, if you've got the room, stock or modded, that's a damn good one, man. It's a really good one. Okay, so let's move on to something else. This one got me thinking. So back on the aforementioned Instagram account of mine. So went over to RK One Up, and they were talking about, hey, get ready for this, superb combo that's going to be overly priced. No, they didn't say anything about the price. And they were really vague on everything else. So I actually commented and I said, hey, can we expect more details about upcoming cabinets at E3? E3 is coming up in June. Killer Instinct and X-Men specifically. I wanted to be as specific as possible in my comment. To which they said, 19K Fox, we will make an announcement once those details are ready. So first off, right off the bat, I am not a reporter. This was not a press conference. They don't owe me an answer at all. They don't owe any of us an answer. So I was just a fan reaching out and asking a question. But they've made no mention at all about E3 announcements coming at E3. Hey, watch, here's a link to our live stream portion of E3. Get ready, big announcements, big news coming, this, that, and the other. None of the usual stuff that you hear. Now it is just April, so maybe next month we'll get something. I would think that they would want to hype up their presence at E3 in some way, and what better way to do that than to be vague but say announcements are coming. There will be news, something to look forward to. Check it out, and nothing. And the response was, not stay tuned. Okay, yes, at E3, or not to commit to news about those cabinets, but to say something about E3 and that tie-in, and to just not have that at all was a little bit odd. It was a little bit odd. I thought that for sure. By now, they not necessarily the reply to my comment, but in some way, shape, or form, they would have said, stay tuned. E3, we're going to be there. It's going to be big, and maybe it will be big, and maybe they're waiting to hype that up closer to E3. I don't want to give them a really hard time, and I don't want to give them a pass either. I think we need to keep the pressure on them. I think it's been kind of weird lately. Some of the messaging, some of the branding is a little questionable. I think we've got this pretty big product with the legacy cabinets coming out. Nobody can get it, and eventually we get it, and it's out there. And a lot of people have questions about them, and a lot of people don't understand some of the design choices. And there's been no, hey, we've heard, we like your feedback. We've heard what's going out there in the community. Don't worry, news is coming, changes are being made, some kind of interaction. Because what was really cool is to have somebody like John D. Be in the community, be on live streams, interacting directly, taking questions directly from the community, and then to have nothing, to have that stop, and to just have, just sort of vague answers to questions in Instagram posts and Facebook. It's and you can tell it's these canned answers. It's a standard. Great suggestion. That's a great idea, and you see a lot of those when you scroll through there. It's always, yes, we'll look into that. Oh, that sounds good. Glad you think that. Glad you feel that way or something. It's vague, almost like a robot spitting this stuff out. But yeah, so I'm curious to see what happens at E3. Really want to know what's going to happen. What are we going to look forward to besides the two cabinets that they announced a while back? The two new cabinets. Well, I guess three. I mean, Dragon Slayer, but we haven't heard anything about that either. So I'm not sure what to expect, or when. We don't even know when we can expect more news. Give us a date. Give us something to look forward to, so that we can anticipate that. And we're not getting that at all. So it's kind of weird. Yeah, I don't know. But it's enough about me talking. What do you guys think? Didn't you also have? Yeah, I got that too. I know the games list is the same, but I'm going to reveal something later. So yeah, more Marvel vs. Capcom's back here, and it was kind of the glare. It's kind of hard to see. But yeah, that's the first one that I got. I pre-ordered that bad boy as soon as I could. Got it from Best Buy. I love that cabinet. I love MVS. Marvel vs. Capcom, MVC. I love that one. But I love X-Men versus Street Fighter. I love the character select music. I think it's the same music that was in X-Men Children of the Atom. I love that. And so that is in the X-Men versus Street Fighter. I have all the games on PS1. I just freaking love them. And I like this cabinet, and of course the game selection is almost exactly the same, except for with the exception of X-Men: Children of the Atom, which is on this. But I didn't necessarily. Well, I'll say it up front, flat out. I didn't buy this to keep stock. I didn't buy this to keep stock. I go ahead and I know I have several other projects going on out there. Actually, there's a video going to drop tomorrow. It's the next Countercade project. It's the first part of that. A big chunk of that. I get about 3/4 of it done. Unfortunately, I'm waiting for artwork on a lot of these little projects I've got going on. So because I've got the Countercade and I've got the 2-player Ninja Turtles control deck that I want, that has to look right. It's got to look good. So I got the control deck fabbed. I need to get the artwork, so I want this to look good. Got the lime green T-molding, so I got that. But so I'm that's kind of the hiccup on some of my projects. So I got that coming. Countercade. I got the 2-player mod. I got the next topic is going to shed a little more light on this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to remake the Midway Legacy cabinet. I'm going to remake that control deck. I'm going to remake it. I want to replace that. I'm going to keep all the stock controls. I'm going to have to get a new. Obviously, I got to get a new. Got to get new artwork for the control panel, but I want to remake that. I've gone back and forth. I've tried some stuff. I've tried spacers, and I just I think to really completely eliminate any issues with that, you're going to have to go back to the traditional control panel where it actually overlays the side panels. 8-bit vinyl is doing really cool. He's doing a really good, sort of the same thing, but he's using a deck protector. So it accomplishes the same thing, except that's a thinner profile, that may be better than what I'm doing, to be perfectly honest with you. But we're going to try it out and see. But it's got to fit that contour the way that I think I said on last week's live stream. The way those side panels contour, there's a big radius there. That's got to be perfect. I mean, that's got to look good. I don't want to throw this on there and have big weird gaps. It's got to look good. It's got to look good. So there's going to be a lot of trial and error with that. When I got the basic shape cut out, now I have to focus on how I'm going to, recreate that radius, that contour. I want that to be nice so that I get the control panel nice and snug. I want to get it in there. And something was pointed out today. The next topic is going to put a little more emphasis on that project and getting that project correct. So I got the new Countercade coming. 2-player Ninja Turtles. Got to work on the control deck for the legacies, and also that legacy Midway Legacy control panel. Once I get that figured out, that's going to be the same thing you can use for the Capcom Legacy and so forth and so on. But the reason I got this one, and I love it, and I love the artwork and all that's cool but this is not going to stay in X-Men versus Street Fighter. It's not. I am going to make. I'm more of a Capcom fanboy. Or fan. What's going on with my camera? Focus. There we go. I'm more of a Capcom fan than a Midway fan, so I can't bring myself to buy the Capcom Legacy cabinet. But what I am going to do is I'm going to make my own Capcom Legacy cabinet, and I'm going to start with X-Men versus Street Fighter as my base. This is going to be the clay that I will mold into. I'm not going to say a perfect Capcom Legacy cabinet, but I think it's going to be a much better Capcom Legacy cabinet. No, I'm not going to put a Pi in it. No, I'm not going to run a PC. I like to do things a little bit differently. I like to just try plug and play solutions that hopefully anybody can tackle without having to worry about software, downloading ROMs and all that. I think, and really for me, the sticking point, especially with YouTube, is I can't tell you where to go to get ROMs. I have ROMs. I'm sure you have ROMs. Other people don't necessarily have ROMs, and they don't know how to go about doing that. And my block of instruction will be left incomplete if I couldn't tell you what to do to get a hold of games. So it just it leaves a hole in the video. It leaves a hole in the project where I can't share everything with you, and I don't like that. So that's sort of why you'll see me use PlayStations, a Dreamcast, a NES Classic. I mean, things that people can go and buy and purchase. And there's also Pandora's boxes out there, but those have 1 million games on them. And I'm running one of those in one of my old bar tops. And the reason I got away from that is because there are 1 million games on it. I know that sounds like a contradictory in terms, but and I think others like even Retro Ralph had pointed this out before, is that when I walk up to my arcade machine and I've got this list of 1,000 games, I can sit there and scroll through it. I mean, some of the later Pandora's boxes you could save, like you have a favorites list, and that's definitely better. I think I'm running a 4S in my old bar top, my Alien versus Predator themed bar top, and I just like, there's something about walking up to a machine and it's got just a few games on it, but it's got that side art, it gives you that feel, and I think that's part of the appeal of the arcade one-ups. So anyway. So that's why I try to do like plug and play sort of solutions for people, because yes, you can get a Pi, and you can make the front end, and there's front ends out there and things that you can download, and there you go, load up your ROMs and you're ready to go. But not everybody has it. So anyway, I am going to use something. I'm not going to use a game console for this. I'm going to use something else, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. Hopefully I'm intriguing you enough to where you'll come back and check it out, because I'm really pumped about this one. I'm excited about this one. I've got this other product that I've been wanting to, kind of do like a fusion technique on these and put these two things together and make this work. So I'm pretty excited about this. So that's the big project that I'm going to work on. We're going to make that sexy. We're going to leave the stock monitor, all new graphics, brand new games list inside. It's going to have, I'm not even going to tell you how many games it's going to have, but it's going to have more than 10. That's for sure. It's going to have more than 10 games, more than 12 games. Less than 20. I'll tell you that much. Less than 20 games. But it's going to be a Capcom focused cabinet. It's going to be what I'm going to brand, what I'm going to call basically my version of the true Capcom Legacy cabinet. So anyway, that's it. That's my spiel. So waiting on artwork to get these other things knocked out, and then we're gonna jump on this one. It's gonna be fun, guys. It's gonna be fun. I'm really pumped about that one. I'm really pumped about all my projects. The countercade, I'm actually looking at it up there in its current form, not completed yet. Still waiting on a few things. But I'm pumped about that. Of course, I love my Raiden 2 countercade. I'm not going to do a bunch of countercades, though. I think I'm scratching that itch with these two projects. I'm probably going to leave it there because I don't think you need to spend $150 on a countercade and then mod it, because you're still getting just a countercade. Now, this is great in a dorm, a small apartment. Maybe you don't have a full-blown office or game room or area where you can actually have an arcade. So I just want to give people options. Maybe they're intimidated by the full size or the 3/4 scale offerings out there, and they want to start with something small. So that's the purpose of these projects, and they are pretty fun. And like a good movie will use limitations as a way to be creative, because we don't have all the money in the world. What do we do? With a countercade, you don't have all the space in the world. You don't have this big open void like on your arcade one-ups to fill with a PC and everything. So what do you do? So it's limited space. What's the most you can do within that limited space? So that's what I think is interesting and fun. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. So, and the Street Fighter versus X-Men cab is easier to assemble than, yes, absolutely. Game Broker 84. This thing, it was so refreshing. Okay. Cause the last one I put together was Legacy. Frustrating is a word that I will use to describe that assembly process. This was so nice. I mean, going back to the old school, this is 3rd generation cabinet here. Going back to this design is so much nicer. I still don't like the way you got to use the angle brackets for the monitor. That kind of sucks a little bit. But beyond that, this thing just sort of goes together like it's supposed to. And it's so nice to go back to this design. I don't know why they didn't stick with this design for the Legacy cabinets. This is tried and true. It's proven. Why would you try something completely different? So, but anyway, this was refreshing to see, like a breath of fresh air. It was awesome. Oh, nice. We have another one. It arrives tomorrow. I'm only picking up arcade one-ups with Wi-Fi. Yes, that's another thing. You got to have, the Wi-Fi, I think, is the way of the future, but I think that's the way these cabinets are going to go. Obviously not the legacy cabinets, which are going to be the lower end version, but I think your higher end stuff is going to have that Wi-Fi capability. I think that if RK1UP is thinking about the future, they have to build that online community, and the gateway drug to that online community, or that ecosystem, okay, for lack of a better word, would be their cabinets. You want to be a part of this whole gaming community, you got to buy our stuff. You got to buy our cabinets. And I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's good. I think it's worth developing that. Could we see in the future an online store where certain cabinets can get certain games? We've already seen these other games where you can unlock them. You unlock a secret game or something or whatever, where I think they did it on Outrun for sure. I remember that one. You buy it and then there's a patch and you can download it. I forget exactly how that, I think you had to have it wasn't a USB. I can't remember how they actually did that, but could we see that in the future where you buy a cabinet and maybe there's not going to be this giant games list because they're going to have the same sort of licensing issues, that limit them on what games can even be on the cabinet at all. But if down the road you have your X-Men versus Street Fighter cabinet, and then, hey, we've worked out with Capcom, now we have access to this game. And if you have this cabinet for a fee, you can download this game to that cabinet. Maybe you can't download that on the Midway Legacy cabinet. That kind of makes sense with branding, licensing, and all that. But that could be something I see happening in the future. And I think that if they want to sell their products, it needs to be more than just the cabinets themselves, because then you're comparing apples to apples. But if you've got an ecosystem, and if you've got an online structure and a marketplace, now you got something different. Now it becomes software. Now it becomes Xbox versus PlayStation, right? Now it's the games, the exclusives. Who's got what? If I want to play Metal Gear Solid, I got to get a PlayStation. Well, that's what it was back in the day. But anyway, so question: mixing two of your videos. Would you think if I buy X-Men versus Street Fighter, it would be a good third gen? Oh yes. The deck, you could definitely use that deck as your Ninja Turtles. If you wanted to just take something and drop it on the console and call it good, you could do that. I actually did that in that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2-player video. At the end of that, I used my MVC control panel to put in place because I started with that Final Fight first gen cab or control deck. And I didn't realize this, but it's shorter. It's like an inch. Well, not an inch. Probably about 3/4 of an inch more shallow than the third gen cabs. So absolutely, you could absolutely do that. So if you bought this and for whatever reason you wanted to take that control panel off, you could use that on your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and it would totally work. And I'll use the rest for another project. Yes, you can. You could take this control deck and you could get some new artwork. Go come up with something yourself. I will say this: if you try to go to Game On Graphics or even Arcade Graphics, and they'll do custom work for you, but you're looking at like 2 to 4 week lead time. They're kind of backlogged. So if you want something a little quicker than that, maybe come up with something on your own, or maybe get a replacement. You could do this if you're gonna. Well, because the sticks and the buttons are already where they are, maybe you just want something bland. Because this is going to have, it doesn't have any Capcom branding on it, but it's got kick and punch on it. It's the typical six button setup, and you just need 2 for turtles. So, maybe you just get something that's just a solid color, or a solid like the cityscape that they have on their control panels. Maybe you do that, and just that way it sort of ties into the rest of the cabinet. But you got to get the lime green T molding. You got to do that. So I know they use a sticker on here. So, if you're the looks department is the only problem you're going to have. But as far as just bolting something on, there you go. You can do that. You can absolutely do that. Now, your inputs and outputs are going to be weird. Your field devices, the fact that you've got 6 buttons now, so you may have to do some disconnecting on the encoder to get that down to where you want it. But yes, you can definitely do that. You can do that for sure. Rather have the Marvel vs. Capcom. Yes, that's what I did. I saw these two, and I was like, you know what? Marvel vs. Capcom is the better deal, even though it was $100 more. You got all the versus games on there. you know, because you got X-Men versus Street Fighter. You also got obviously Marvel vs. Capcom, but then you got the Marvel superheroes versus Street Fighter. Now, I've gone over this I don't know how many times. I'll probably mention it every live stream, but if they had an Alien versus Predator, that would have been the perfect cabinet. I probably never would have bought another one and have been just totally happy. Well, that's a lie. I would have I would have got other cabinets. But yeah, it's Marvel vs. Capcom is the better of the two. But I do like that one's got the blue T-molding, fake T-molding. This has got black. It's going to go better for the theme that I'm going to go with on that Capcom Legacy cabinet. My version of the Legacy cabinet. I can see why RK1UP aims to have announcements for in-person events like CES. But what if it is just a digital event? It is going to be just virtual. It's going to be a virtual event. They should start holding off until they have. I think what they have to do is direct people, because it's not just as simple as going to the website, the E3 website. I think it's a little more involved than that. So I think that they need to raise awareness, let us know that they're even going to be at E3, make that official, and say, hey, this is the date, this is the time that you can log on and you can view our portion of E3. Whatever that presentation is going to be, give us that information so that we can be ready for that. Maybe that's where you start. Let us know that you're even going to be there. Maybe they're not going to be there. I don't know. But I thought that answer to my question was a little cryptic. Oh boy, I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. The chat jumped. Let's just jump into. Sorry about that, guys. Damn. I actually have a lot of people commenting. Thanks. It's awesome. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so I have a real problem with RK1UP that you pay $3.99 to $5.99 for a cab and have to rip off crap buttons and sticks, spending another $100 at least as a low mod. Should be right the first time. I agree. I don't have a problem with the buttons and sticks as they are for what they are. I don't mind that. If you want to just walk up and play, it's fine. It is. It's fine. I mean, it's fine. It's not ideal. No, it's not. I mean, especially when you've made the problem is they're making this stuff, and people that are buying it are people like us that have been modding these things, making them as close. Even I mean, I've had a full size arcade myself. Street Fighter with the running the stock board and everything, and then I eventually put Pandora's box in there because I got bored of just playing Street Fighter. But yeah, we're used to authenticity, the real thing, and then the pro level stuff, Sanwa Hap and all that, and we're going to notice these differences. But for the average consumer, it's fine. It's fine. So at $3.99 is one thing. $3.99. I'm not going to complain, but $5.99. Now we have a real problem. We have a real problem. Holding a fart. Well, don't hold it, man. Just let it go. It's going to back you up. You don't want to be like that. The J3 screws on mine were too long and made bumps on the side of my. Oh, that sucks, dude. See, this is what I'm talking about. The J panels are stupid. I mean, the whole recessed control panel is just everything about that. Every single, and I said this in my video review, and I'm going to say it again. Every physical change that they made to that cabinet was wrong. Every single one. Every single one was wrong because it negatively impacted the player experience. Also, I mean, just if you're an engineer at all, hell, if you ever built anything before, you understand that, something to carry the load of something, right? So pick the biggest load in your house, or let's say on these arcade machines, most of the force is going to be on top of that control panel, right? And so to pick that load up, what do? Well, if you've got something going all the way down to the floor, in this case, in the third generation case, the side panel goes all the way to the ground. Well, it actually goes to the riser and then the ground. But you're picking up all that load. There's something directly below that. You're picking that up. Now what they've done is they've taken and they've put a board on the inside, and you got some screws. You just got 3 screws on this J block and 3 screws on this J block. So you can't go through the 1/2 inch MDF they've used. So what do you have? A 1/4 inch of thread times 6 holding up the entire control panel? Why would you do that? Structurally, that makes no sense. And yeah, exactly right. If they're too long, or if you over tighten, it's going to stick through your side art. Why would you do that? Why would you take the chip? Why would you design it that way so that customers can easily make that mistake? And I'm not faulting you for it. Holding the fart. I'm not faulting you that you maybe over tightened it a little bit. Or maybe the screws were too damn long, like you said, because they got to be just right. And the pre-drilled holes in that J-block, if they're too deep too, if their router was set a little too, if it was just a little too deep, now more of that screw is going to protrude out, and it's absolutely right. It's going to stay. Now you're going to have these little bumps right there. Or worse, the freaking tip of the screw is going to stick out, and you're going to cut yourself. It's stupid. That makes no sense to me. That was totally wrong. You're on it. Yeah, Tony C. 8-bit says you're right. If you look at the controller deck, the buttons have a 1/4 inch of black. I think the control deck should cover this. Also, the top part of the screen is cut. If you look at the control deck, the bottom is a 1/4 inch of black. I think that the control deck should cover this. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I'm not exactly sure. I'm hoping the controls on the Atari Legacy. See, I don't think the Atari Legacy. Well, I don't know. The controls are probably going to be the same quality, but I think the control deck is not going to be an issue with the Atari or the Namco Legacy cabinets because that's sort of a one-player experience. So you're not going to have some of those issues. But as far as the structural issue, I mean, space is not going to be an issue, but the structural issue will persist. It's absolutely, I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, even in deck building, when traditionally you would just take a board and you would screw it to the post and there you go. Or you would even through bolt. You would run a bolt through there. Well, that's not really the best way to pick up the load, okay? Because you want to have a board underneath that this board actually rests on. You can then through bolt or screw, but you want to have something that picks up that load and transfers that weight all the way to the ground, not hanging off the side by a fastener that could eventually fail. Now, these aren't going to be outside, obviously, but still, it's a fastener. So you're screwing into, 1/2-inch MDF, supporting the weight of something. And if you do get pissed off and you beat off, if you got kids and they smack on the control panel, and then what's your fix? Then what are you going to do? Nothing. Ain't nothing you can do. And you rip the stuff right out of the inside of your $400 cabinet, which is not the most expensive one they make, but it's not cheap. I don't know about you, but $400 is a lot. That's more than I make in an hour. I'm sorry. What did you say? You said buy the speakers. So far, the Street Fighter is the cheapest I've ever owned. Yeah, it's the one that I picked up. And I tell you what, I love modding that thing. I know it's first gen. I'm gonna have a ball modding this one, the 3rd gen, but I'm enjoying it. I'm planning on buying HAP buttons. Yes, I think it's a great option. Definitely do that. Definitely do that. That's one of those things you'll really notice a big difference. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is my favorite fighter. Do you have that running on the one you're modded? No, no, I have not. And that is not going to be the game that will be on. Yeah, it's not going to be on my. It's not going to be part of my mods yet. But I remember the first time that I played Marvel vs. Capcom was not an arcade. It was actually on my Dreamcast, and I loved that. But no, I'm currently not running that on any of my modded cabinets yet. Stay tuned. I'd like to see a side-by-side online match. Okay. MVC cab and X-Men cab to see how accurate the online is. When you're playing these, when you play online, anybody can join in as long as it's the same game. I believe that you're going to be able to play whether it's the X-Men cab or the MVC cab. If you're playing Marvel vs. Capcom, that game, anybody should be able to play. I think that's correct. I think so. Like when NBA launched, or NBA Jam. When NBA Jam launched, online was particularly finicky with different things happening at each end. I've noticed my gameplay online on my Marvel vs. Capcom cabinet. I've not noticed any real lag or delays. You can there's even up in the upper corner there, you can see your millisecond delay lag, and then theirs. And it's never been, of course. And I'm just on Wi-Fi. I mean, I've got pretty decent Wi-Fi, but I've never noticed any big issues, at least on my end. That's not to say that they haven't noticed stuff on their end. So I guess that's something that maybe you get somebody who's got one and you get on the cell phone and you talk to each other while you're gaming and see what the issue is. Get the deck protector off the Golden Tee. Just cut off the Street Fighter buttons. It would fit perfect on the Street Fighter with a raised control deck. There you go. I can't wait to see you do that control panel mod. I love different ideas. Yeah, man, me too. I love it when everybody gets together and just let's try this, let's try that, and let's go back and forth and see what sticks. You know, like literally throwing crap on the wall, right? Hey, what's up, Jason? How you doing? Deck Protector 8-bit vinyl made for the Legacy Cap is all. Yeah, and it's a great idea, isn't it? He raised up that control panel, and then now you just have the thickness of the plexi sitting on top, so your hand doesn't feel the difference. It's a great idea. But yeah, I want to see if I can, because I don't know. In my review, I noted that the control panels are actually the whole cabinet. The Legacy cabinet is just a little bit shorter, just barely shorter. But because they took, I guess they didn't change the aspect ratio. They didn't change that. They didn't change the overall height of the control deck location as far as the side panels are concerned. So when they recessed that, it is lower. It is over a half-inch lower, which is the thickness of the material, and then whatever that gap is, at not quite a quarter inch, but about an eighth inch. So great idea. I'm waiting for their online Street Fighter. Yeah, you and me both. I hope you put Alien versus Predator on it. Oh, I wouldn't. I wouldn't say that. But I am a big stupid fan of Alien versus Predator. Yes, the hell with it. Let's all get together and make our own cabs. Yeah, exactly, and make them exactly what we want. Yeah. I've got some ideas. I've got some ideas on taking. I want everyone to tackle something they don't like about their arcade one-ups, and they come up with a fix, come up with a solution. And then I would love to be able to pool all that data, get all that together, and just see, first of all, what's everybody's number one gripe about an arcade one-up. And I would probably go with a third gen, because, you know, Legacy's, but a third gen, I think that's a proven product. I'd love to hear what people don't like about that. And then move forward with the fixes, because the fixes are where I get fascinated, or not fascinated, but I get intrigued by everybody else's mindset. You know, where are they at? What angle are they coming from? Is it how do I fix this? How do I overcome that? You know, and those points of view are really interesting. Really interesting. Alien versus Predator would be an amazing dedicated cabinet. Let me just break the fourth wall here, boys. Just in case you don't know, I'm a bit of a fan. Got the entire collection. Yeah. I'll briefly, I don't know if I don't think I've told this before on a live stream, but I will go ahead and tell it now. I was an NTC. I served in the Army for 4 years. I was National Training Center, and this was 1995, and the game came out in 94, and we were back, did a month out there. We were turning our tanks in, turning the equipment, and we were sleeping in shelter house on gravel. And you have to walk and go get your shower. Coming back from the shower, there's like this portable building in the middle of all that, and it had a little miniature arcade in it. I'm walking around enjoying it. That was the first time I saw Alien versus Predator, and I was like, "Holy sh! This is awesome! This is awesome!" And so my mind exploded, and the rest was history. Played it every chance I got. Was sad that I never got we never got that home release. For sure, I wanted it on some kind of console, but yeah, it is what it is. Thinking about a horizontal countercade mod with a TurboGrafx 16 Pi image. I am a shmups guy, and it has tons. Yeah, I like I like the vertical orientation is not bad, but those games are limited. They're great for shooters. If you're thinking about a horizontal countercade mod, stay tuned to my channel. Specifically, watch tomorrow. I got a little something coming for you. That's all I'm gonna say. Spend most of the time playing the same few games. Yep. You and me both. I mean, sometimes you just find something you like and you just play that. And when you, I don't know if you're referring to what we were talking about earlier about the Pandora's box with 1,000 games. You know, you find a few games you like, and that's what you play. Need someone to sell games and stick it to, stick it to one. Yeah, stick it to one up. Exactly. Hey, there he is, my buddy. Options are the best. OCG, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Hope baseball isn't keeping you too busy, man. I know this is definitely the time of year. I love springtime. It's actually getting green around here, so it's nice. I plan to put a bigger screen in my modded Final Fight and maybe a PC or Pi 4. Right now has a stock monitor and Pi 3. I put if you scroll back in my channel, I put a 19-inch monitor in it because I was looking at those Dells that everybody uses, those 20-inch Dells, and man, they're expensive. I guess people are buying them up, and so if you can't find them local and you got to go on eBay, you're spending a lot of money. So I went with Arcade Mod Up. I got their 19-inch, and it's kind of like a drop-in replacement. You can even get the bezel to match whatever, Final Fight will be one of them. And it comes out of the box, and it's ready to go, and it's pretty simple. It is another Chinese monitor, but, everything is. So getting close to the hour. I got to share this with you before we go, guys. I got to share this with you. Watching a live stream, 8-Bit was on there. Jason, the Third Floor Arcade was there. It was Unqualified Critics live stream, and he said something that broke my heart. He pointed something out about the Killer Instinct cab, the one that I'm going for, right? The one I think that many of us are going for. And he said, hey, I know a lot of people don't like the legacy cabinet and the control deck. And everybody's like, well, of course, yeah, the control panel sucks. He said, did you notice on some of those Killer Instinct renderings that it's got the same issue? And I said, no, come on. He's smoking crack. What is he, stupid? No, is it? Oh no. Oh no, he's not stupid. If you look at that, I'm having trouble. Why? So let me zoom in. If this is the same control deck. This is the same freaking control deck. I don't know why I didn't notice this before. On the Killer Instinct cab, when you get this and zoom in, I don't know why I can't zoom anymore. If you zoom in, you'll see the screws. You'll see the fact that the control panel is in between these two side panels. Now, I know the original concept drawing didn't have this the slant on the monitor. It didn't have this slant on the marquee. I think the marquee might have even pushed back a little bit. That was that very first rendering. So this was probably the rendering, like the version 2 rendering or whatever. But yeah, look at the freaking control. So this worries me. This worries me a lot. Now with the 4-player X-Men, it's not going to be a problem because they have that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4-player control deck. So that style is not going to change. But look at this. It's the same damn thing we've been complaining about. And I just never paid it any attention. I never gave it a thought. And I feel like such a fool, like a big damn dummy. Try not to cuss. But yeah, I mean, guys, this is not good. This is not good at all. I can't believe it. First of all, I can't believe I'm so dumb I didn't pick that up. I've been looking at these things forever. But yeah, this does not bode well for those cabinets moving forward. It seems to me like they could be bailing out on their first, second, third generation, sort of cookie cutter style. And they're going for more of the legacy route. And let's just hope that the reason we're not hearing anything about these cabinets is because they're going to back up and punt. They're going to change that design. Listen, if they just change the control deck and increase the height of the risers, I think a lot of problems will be solved. I mean, really, you go with that riser for like Star Wars, that's a little bit taller, and the same riser that they have on the Outrun stand-up version. And I think you're going to solve a lot of these problems. You're going to fix that line of sight issue. But that control deck, you got to redo that. You have to completely redo that. It's just, talk about a way. I mean, just. I'm trying to think of an analogy that's not profane. I can't. I'm struggling, having a hard time because I can't. I mean, take this perfect thing and then just blow it up. Just take this perfect thing and just destroy it. I mean, Killer Instinct, something that everybody's been pumped up about. Everybody's been excited about this, and you're going to ruin it with that garbage design. It just doesn't make any freaking sense to me. just as many sense to me. I saw this 850. What do you think the price will ever come down on pinballs? 850 in Canada. Wondering if it's worth it at that price. I don't think it is, but to be fair, I have not played it. I have not physically played it, so I cannot tell you. And I'm just going to be out for honest with you. I've only seen reviews. Other people, original console gamers in the chat, he's had them. Other people in the chat have the pinball machines, and they can give you their opinions. But no, man, I think you wait for version 2. Wait for a full 1080p screen. If you're not going to get a bigger monitor, I think right now it's 24 inches, 23 and a half. If you're not going to, if you can't at least get a bigger monitor, then what you have better be full HD. And right now it's not. And when you're staring at it, that's, the haptics are important. But I think if that screen, if that image isn't crisp and clear and clean, it's going to take you out of the experience. So that's, to me, that's like a deal breaker. But I think aesthetically, it looks great. Everybody, from the images I've seen, from the videos I've seen, from the opinions of people that have seen and actually interacted with these pinball machines, they say they look great. But I wouldn't, no, I wouldn't pay $850. That's crazy. Hey, little George, I got to say hi to you, man. I'm totally fine with one game per cab. I would still buy it. Wi-Fi with scan lines included. It depends on the game and depends on the price. Little George, would you pay $399 for a cabinet with one game? I'm curious what you think about that. Would you pay legacy cabinet prices for a cab with one game? The price will only go up. Well, there you go. I do believe they're going to put out an update or sell upgraded PCB boards. You got to do something to justify that price. If the price is going to go up, which I know the cost of materials is going up, this is something we're dealing with in my industry. The price of resin is going to skyrocket, or it's already on the rise because of some of the plants in Texas that produce plastics and resins. They were shut down so long because of that freeze they had. I think they're back up and running, but because there was that delay, you're going to have some scarcity. Now, we're talking about plastic. We use sheets of plastic in my industry, but PVC pipe, that kind of stuff, polycarbonate, plexiglass, clear plastic, that's going to take a hit. And so all this has got to go into the calculations of these cabinets. And I can't imagine that wouldn't affect the price of vinyl decals, vinyl graphics, all that. So think about it. Think about all the stuff that goes on with these arcade one-ups. I mean, the plastic buttons, if they haven't bought up a bunch of those before the price, the resin price takes a hit, that's going to hurt them. Obviously, the Lexan, the plexiglass that covers, for the control deck and for the monitor, all that stuff. It's the price is definitely going to go up, and I think when you got things like the Superb Combo fetching as much money as it did, I don't know how many they sold, but that's going to factor in there too. If you're going to pay $550 for a second gen cabinet, just because they called it limited, maybe they'll see if they can add $50 to the price of these new cabinets coming out, just to see if they can get away with it. And you're going to have people that are on the fence decide not to take the jump. I mean, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait till these prices come down. So are they going to artificially inflate the prices so they can get what the price they really wanted from the beginning through a sale? I don't know. It's a funny thing that usually when a product becomes more popular, becomes more plentiful, and the prices tend to sort of go down. But I think with that initial market saturation that Arcade 1-Up did, and we saw these things on sale at Walmart for $100, $50, they learned a lesson there and they've scaled back significantly. So I think you've got the scarcity that we're sort of dealing with now, which is ridiculous. And you had the oversaturation and the initial wave of cabinets. You've got those two problems. They got to find that middle ground. Once they figure that out, then I think we're all going to be in better shape. But I don't know. They're going to have to take some feedback from us, take this criticism with a grain of salt, and then move forward with the idea of bringing existing customers along while you're trying to get this new market, to get these new characters, or not new characters, but these new customers. You see them doing this stuff with these weird, one-offs with these the Chinese market brands. I mean, these things that they're sort of reaching outside of the segment of the the customer base, the existing customer base, to try to get more people interested in the brand. And I get that, but at the same time, don't alienate your customers that you have now. We're like, hey, we're here. We want some improvements. We want you to do this and this. And they're like, no. We're trying to get, get the people that buy FUBU to buy an arcade machine. I don't know. That was just an example, but it's like, it seems a lack of focus for sure. When, if you ignore this customer base, the customers that built your company, I mean, really, we bought your stuff. We bought it when nobody else was buying it. We bought it. We jumped online and we created channels where we talk about it, we monitor it, and we tell people where to buy your product. I mean, really, we're doing a lot of the marketing for you. We're telling you what we think. We're read our comment section, and we're pointing people to the retailers that carry your product. So, it's more of a partnership than you think. And if you want to just poo-poo us or make light of all of our concerns or what we say, I think it's gonna hurt your brand, because there's enough of these cabinets out there. How many people are going to say, listen, to hell with it. I've got a couple cabinets. I think I'm just going to mod these and do what I want and forget these new offerings, forget the new stuff, because they're moving in a direction that I'm not interested in. So little George is talking about, yes, $3.99 for Pac-Man with filters, Wi-Fi, scan lines, lip marquee, quality over quantity. And it looks like to me, you want options. You want to be able to put filters on these to recreate that authentic experience as much as possible. Scan lines, filters, Wi-Fi, online Pac-Man play. Okay, leaderboards makes sense. So get your one game, and then get the most you can out of that one game. I think it's a legit point of view, man. I think a lot of people feel that way, that have a very, very special affinity for a certain game, But if you're talking about people that just, hey, I just like arcade games, or I just like fighters, if they're not in love with one game in particular, they may not share that point of view. But I mean, I like where your head's at. I do. If they made an Alien versus Predator cabinet for $3.99 with all that, would I buy it with some kick-ass artwork? Probably. I'm not even going to front, man. Probably. Man, these new Killer Instinct and X-Men cabs better not be. And that's another thing, Jason. Man, I'm telling you, if you got a piss poor design, because I'm telling you, I like the Killer Instinct cab. I like the games that are coming with them. I do. I mean, that's, Battletoads, the arcade version, love it. Killer Instinct 1 and 2, great. I don't even mind the pack-in console game. I don't think they have any place on these cabinets, though, to be honest with you. I don't mind it in this case, but I don't think it needs to be. There's no need for that at all. This is a arcade experience, an arcade machine. I don't want a freaking console game on here. I do not want it. It's stupid, but I don't even mind. You get on there, it's fine. Doesn't anger me. But yeah, if you're telling me that games list with that control deck, with that design, without Wi-Fi is going to be $600. Shh, dude. That's where guys like me are going to say, you know what? I think I'm good. I think y'all have gone to Crazy Town. All right, so I'm gonna wait here. When you come back, I'll see what you got to say. I'll see what you have to offer. But if you're going to do that and go off the deep end, I'll take my cabs that I have and I'll mod them and I'll make the thing that I want anyway. And that's where the community will regress back to that. That's where we were anyway. We were doing this stuff anyway. We were buying these kits online. We were making this stuff from scratch before Arcade 1-Up came along. And I hope that they don't go down that path, because they're gonna lose a lot of people. I think if you go $600 or $700, we better start talking about full-size offerings, full-size versions. You know what I mean? You're getting way too close to $1,000 for me when we're talking about a stand-up arcade cabinet. Because I think you get to a point where I don't care how many games are on it, $600 or $700. I mean, that's why the At Games Legends thing is such a stretch for me, because I don't really like the form factor a lot. It just, and then the graphics and all that on the side, and it seems like there's a certain type of person that likes the multicade, and And I do, for the most part, like what they are, multicades being what they are, but I think that's just too expensive for what they're offering. You know, I want something a little more. When you get to that price point, I want something a little more authentic. But that's just me. Maybe I'm just hard to please. If we're talking better controls and screen, that's another OCG. That's another good point. The monitor itself too. If we're going back to that one game per console or per cabinet, a badass monitor. I mean, like super crisp, high res, really good monitor. You can't just be slapping the same old screen in there if you're gonna have one game. And then I would buy it for the right game. Otherwise, I think it needs to be $299. Makes sense. Makes sense. Marty McFly, you back from the future, man? I haven't played Vendetta yet. No, I apologize. I have not. I have been traveling, but I made that promise to you, and I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna stick to it. Pay attention to my Instagram. Another shameless plug, and I'll put something there, or I'll put something in the community posts or the community section on my YouTube channel for sure. There are people they see and they buy. You are better off building. Yes. In a lot of cases, man, you're better off building. You are better off building for sure. We have plenty of cabinets to keep us busy until they return from Crazy Town. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And there's enough of them out there that are of a decent price that we'll buy them and we'll cut them up. Maybe not cut them up, but we'll pack them full of so much stuff that, that'll keep us busy for a while. That will definitely keep us busy for a while.
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
It's time to wrap it up, folks. So we've had a lot of fun tonight. At least I have. I've talked till I'm hoarse. I'm excited about some of my projects going on. I'm excited about what we're going to hear, hopefully about E3. Curious to see what the hell they're going to do with these new cabs. But if nothing else, while that craziness is going on, I do have some pretty fun stuff planned. So stay tuned to the channel for sure. And before I go, let me just say, I appreciate every single person coming to live streams. My channel growth has been, for me, it's been pretty awesome. It's been really, really great. You guys comment my videos, you like, thumbs up, thumbs down, I don't care. It's all engagement. Let me know when I'm screwing up, and let me know if you like what I'm doing. Really, really appreciate it, guys. You help me get monetized, and your feedback is what drives me, and it's also what inspires me to move on and to pick my next project. So anyway, with all that being said, thank you so much. Y'all keep gaming, y'all keep modding, and I will see you next time.